All right, here is the video review of the big guy himself. This is Fans Hobby MB-18 Energy Commander, aka Energon Optimus Prime, and you can see here they've done a really good job of at least replicating his vehicle mode with the weird shaped trailer and all. You can see the hinge swivels there. He rolls smoothly with rubber tires. Very nice. I do want to take a brief moment here, if I can get it in frame, to point out the packaging, just because it does come in this nice box, much like Naval Commander did, very reminiscent of the old Energon toys, just for the, just so you show it off. So anyway, I don't usually talk about the boxes, but they've put a lot of effort into making it look very similar to the old vintage boxes, and I think that's cool. So here's Optimus. Like I said, he rolls. You get the manual and the instructions. There's a little sticker sheet, but they're already on. These windows are stickers, some stuff on the bumpers. Whatever. So here he is in his tractor trailer mode. The gun stores in there. It just clips on here. You can see the drones hiding inside there. Let's go ahead and clip that back on there for now. But yeah, there's that, the trailer. You can see on the top it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, these little compartments. And it is compartments. It is segmentable, unlike the, I believe the original toy was just a giant, chunky, weird trailer. Whereas here, I think it could tilt up and become a base. You've got that option here and more. So you got this hinge right here, and it tabs in to these slots here in the back of the truck, these panels that form the back of the truck. And the truck is a little wide and chunky, but that's cool. And if you're wondering, if you want a quick review of how I feel about him, there you go. If you watch my videos, you know. Anyway, we'll put that off to the side. But these tabs here, you can see they are not just straight across. They are kind of stapley, brackety shaped. They do only go on one way. And to get it attached, it can be a little bit of a pain because these are just some panels here. So what I usually do is, because it has this hinge here, I loop this out. Oh, that's a little tab to keep it standing straight if you don't have them attached. This little post right there. So when you don't have Prime attached, you can have it sit flat without have it tilting forward like that. But anyway, because of this hinge right here, I found it's easier to kind of take it, pull this hinge out, make sure these are aligned properly, like this, and then attaching it, getting here where you can apply the proper pressure to all the pieces involved to get it to tab in securely, and then you can just set them back up like that. It's just a whole lot easier than trying to sit here and push this down on these panels with your finger under here and all this going on. Just trust me on that. We'll go ahead and pop him off to the side. Talk about the trailer for a minute, because like I said, this piece comes up and folds around back like that. And it basically just becomes a support piece to take the trailer, set it up like this, and now you can open up the panels, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and the drones can roll out. Now you can also, this panel right here flips down on the side so the helicopter can come out. It really doesn't want to slide out the side, but you can put the helicopter on a little helipad here on the base mode, and that's kind of neat. What's also neat about this is it is modular. So, like I said, if you want to, each one of these compartments is a separate piece. The only way you can't, I don't think you can put this piece, well, actually, no, these are all hollow, so you could conceivably put something attached to this piece. You would have to remove the gun, I believe. Yeah, the gun's not going to fit through there. But, so you can take these apart. Actually, let me go ahead and get all the drones out. These are not fully transformed yet, but actually, this guy might be. His rubber treads kind of make him sticky. And this guy might be too. But we'll get the drones out, and I'll show you the base compartments, because you come back here, pop the wheel pieces off. You just kind of tab on right there. And then right here, grab it. I found it's easiest to grab it down here by these bottom tabs, by this tail light piece, and pull the whole two the halves apart. And then this tail light piece is a separate piece you can set aside. The hinge piece is a piece you can set aside, although you're going to want to keep that depending on how you reconfigure the base. And then this is the only tough part about this, is you have to separate these, and they're latched on very securely. These pieces do slide in, but then there's no really way to slide them out until you attach these. So what I do is I usually turn them like this, And if you grab it here and grab it here, and give it just enough of a crack to pop it apart. It seems counterintuitive, but I think this is like the nylon or the ABS plastic. This is a really solid plastic. I haven't had any issues with it yet, but just make sure, like, when you're doing it, kind of wiggle it, but give it more of a force apart, because I feel like if you start trying to twist it too much, you could conceivably crack one of those tabs. Haven't had an issue with it yet, but and I could very well be wrong. Oh, you can actually deploy them. I actually did not realize that slid like that, and there's still a piece of foam in there. So that will do it. The foam keeps them. It was in the shipping thing. I thought I got it all out of there, but there's also some up in the roof. So, hey, what do you know about that? So you can take any of these, and you can attach them side by side. So if you want to have a base that's just all of these things low to the ground, I hope you got foam in there too. Pop it apart, and then you could have them. Yeah, okay. See that gun piece. This one has to go either on the outside or above, because this piece right here will keep it from attaching. But you could have them all. There we go. You could have them all bayed like that, just a solid base. If you wanted to put the helicopter up on top, you could put it up in the middle. You could stack two of them up. It's really up to you. And this is what I was talking about. These slots, you can see, come all the way out to the front. So you could, in the front, slide this together and then snap it in. But you have to unsnap it back here to unslide it. And that's pretty secure on its own. If you start building it up higher, that's when you're going to want to take this piece and plug it back in back here somewhere. Because you can see it's the same shape as the wheel well, so you can fit it in any of these slots. You'd want to do it down here. But if you start building up too high, you want to make sure you can put this in to help support the base itself. Just because the more back you bend it, it will start tipping over. But yeah, so you just saw these old panels. Let's see, what's three? Let's do fire truck in here. You roll the fire truck in, but you can open up the panel, and you can slide that forward. Deploy your drones. Outside of that, it's just another box, but it is a versatile box, more so than the original was. And that's the trailer. I'm going to set that off to the side because all the rest of this is going to focus on the robot, which is what we're here for. All right, so let's start off with the drones because with the exception of Fire Truck, you can't extend his ladder and such, but he's mostly in vehicle mode, same with the drill. For the submarine and the helicopter, the submarine has a couple little fins that flip down here. These are all basic vehicles here. Don't expect anything major, but then you can bring these out. These are on a dual hinge, and like you can just bring them out to the side. You can have them angled down like this. You can flip them straight out to the side if you want. What I like to do is, because there's a hinge here and a hinge under here, I like to kind of angle them up so they sit like that. I just think it looks cool. That's how I do my submarine. Even though you can kind of see some stuff back here, I don't care. I think that's the cool. He's exploring the ocean. Anyway, he's exploring the ocean. That is a weird cross-reference. Anyway, helicopter, bring the propellers around, the blades around. Flip that over like that. This piece rotates, and we'll show you why later. And then the blades, just put them until they click. You'll actually feel there's three of them, and they all click into place. Now this doesn't spin freely. You can kind of get it like that, but once they're locked into place, you can see I'm okay. There, I just popped it. But unless you really smack them, you can push them around, and they latch into place pretty well. And you can spin the helicopter blades. So there are the three base drones. They don't do a whole lot. Like I said, the ladder extends, submarine, helicopter, blah, blah, blahs. And the drill tank, he has rubber treads, which do roll, but like with my hand turning, they roll pretty well. It's not always easy to get them to engage on the table. And there's also two little, they're not rubber, they're hard plastic, but there's two little ribbed, textured wheels here that if you get them to engage, it's kind of neat. There we go. There's everything engaging all at once. You can see the treads moving. The drill does turn as you push it forward, which is really cool. So those are the drones for now. We'll come back to them later. But that's the base right out of the box. Drones. Prime the truck. Again, rolls nicely and freely on rubberized wheels. On rubber wheels. Rubberized, whatever. Rubber. And he's a little bit of a wonky shape in much the way that Energon Optimus was. But some really neat stuff they have done both in the limbs and the trailer. Like one, they already made the trailer more interesting by just making it not just a weird shaped angled box. So Prime himself, like I said, he rolls even by himself. He's fun to roll around and play with. And actually, I just realized I need to go grab another figure to compare it to, but that's not a big deal. But yeah, he's a truck. It's cool. He rolls. Transform him into robot mode. And again, they do some neat stuff. They don't completely alleviate all the issues that the original Energon Prime had, but they do a good job of trying to. And then they flat out fix a few other things. So flip these panels up, and then bring these panels arm all the way up and out. I'm getting over a cold, so I apologize. So that's done. These panels, pop them apart like that. Pop them apart up here. You can see there's a hinge right here. Bring them kind of out to the side here like this. This panel. The instructions make it look like you're supposed to fold this panel in to the leg, but it actually folds up and around like that. And then folds down flat. So up and around. And then down flat. And then the arms, actually before you do the arms, because the arms will kind of tilt into this empty cavity, you want to come up here, kind of push here if you need to, and flip the head up and around. You can kind of also grab these panels right here, and flip the head up and around, and then turn it around, the whole assembly around like this. And then the arms can come forward, and you can see how the arms rotate into this cavity, so that's why you want to get the head out first. And then this piece comes up. It takes a little pressure, but latches into place right there. And then these panels come out. This whole assembly folds down like this. And then this blue panel comes down and kind of clips in between the black, and these two just kind of sit flat on either side of his head, or the back of his shoulders, I guess. Rotate the legs down. Rotate his waist plates out to the side. This is another thing that's going to be cool when it comes time for big combined mode. And then flip this silver panel up like that. Rotate the waist around like this. And then rotate the legs around at the thighs, so these false little gas tanks, because the main ones are out here, come around to the front. And you can see Prime coming together here. And then you got to open up these panels here. And, if you can get your thumb in, you can get his heels out, and then you can kind of. It's hard to get your finger in there to get that, but if you can get through here, it takes some force, but you can push out his feet enough to get in there and flip them out. They're designed in just such a way that getting a fingernail in there is a little difficult. But flip the toes out, then this panel comes down and covers the empty heel area. Should latch that into place. There we go. And then this piece folds back down and hides it. Oh, come on. There we go. Put the foot down. Put the panel down. And there he's starting to look more humanoid. Now these panels, there's a couple different ways to do these. You can bring them down back where they were, and then you can angle these out for the side, and fold these up, fold them in and around like that, and they can come sit up here onto his back. And from the front, that's probably the cleanest option. Actually, while we're doing this, let me get his arms down. Fold his arms down, rotate them around so the elbows rotate. Elbows swing forward. Flip out his fists and rotate them. Close those panels. And there he is in robot mode. And again, he's a little chubbly. He's chunky like his original counterpart. But they found a way to make it not look quite as weird. Although, Again, those big panels there. He also has his rifle. You can extend it. The instructions show it extended like this for small robot mode and collapse for larger robot mode, but however you want to do it. And he does have the little groove in his hand. There's a little bit of the groove left up here, so you can close his hand around it and give him his gun. And just for size comparison, here he is with Earthrise Optimus, just to give you an idea of how big the core robot is. So he's not tiny, and he's a fun little Optimus. If you don't prefer these wheels right here, there's an optional configuration. It gives him more of kind of a cape, but you can take these and you can rotate. Okay, I'll take it out of your hand anyway. You can see these rotational pieces right here. You can fold these, pull these back like this, and then you can rotate them up like that. This piece can, again, there's a little tab here that kind of fits into a slot. It doesn't go all the way up, but it does. You can see how it kind of slots in there. You can put this up like this, and then you can fold this up and around and kind of collapse it a little bit up behind the wheels. And like I said, it does still kind of hang down behind his back like a cape, but because it's black, it does, I mean, obviously we're on a black background too. It's going to stick out more on a white background. And you can play with these to make them a little less visible, angle them or whatever, but like, if you want more of a natural silhouette for the smaller robot, you can get all of those wheels out of the way. He just does have kind of a onslaughty type shell on his back. I guess could you rotate these this way? I wonder how much far you could rotate these. Oh, well, I mean, okay, you can rotate that around, but you can see the way everything attaches, that's not going to be super helpful, because you're not going to be able to get both of them rotated around like that. Oh, well. Thought maybe I'd found a solution. You can also, these can rotate back as well. Although, I don't know what advantage that is, aside from just giving him more kind of wings there in robot mode. But yeah, he's got a ball joint neck, both at the top and bottom of his head. He's got ratcheting shoulders that way, bicep swivel, dual hinged elbows. His fingers are all one piece, but they open, and a wrist swivel. He's got a waist swivel here, ratcheting hips in both directions, thigh swivel. He's got knees, and then he's got the toes, which the front parts can angle here for different support options. And of course, he's got that rifle we mentioned. Now, I'm going to do the limbs first, and then we'll get to transforming him into the core robot, because the core robot does a couple cool things that I really want to be the focus of the end here. So we'll set him off to the side. Any of these limbs can be a hand or foot, just FYI. I'm going to put him into the default configuration, but basically for him to be a leg, for the ones that are going to be legs, basically how it works is you're going to basically fold them up back to where they were in drone mode, but before you do that, you're going to open up. You may have to lift this up here. If I can get this out of the way here. You can lift this panel up and then flip the foot out, and then there's a piece in they all have some pieces here that flip out to form a heel. Rotate it up, but basically it's just back to drone mode, and then now he's a foot, and it's the same with him. The same foot hides up under here. Exact same process. Fold out the foot, flip out these front panels to be heels. Fold this back up to drone mode. He's a foot too. With these panels, again, the same kind of idea. Fold that down right here. Open up the front panels, which fold up and around. Should fold up around like this. Yeah, like that. And then slide it back, and then fold this panel up, and the thumb can switch to either side, so either arm can be either side. And same with the drill, has the same transformation process as that to be an arm. Drill and submarine are going to be feet. Helicopter and truck are going to be arms for the mode, but they can all scramble city. Either vehicle, any vehicle can be left foot, right foot, left hand, right hand, which is really kind of cool. So let's go ahead and get him back to submarine mode. And get him back to helicopter mode, or yeah, I guess mostly helicopter mode. But yeah, so for arms, again, start by flipping this up. This piece also rotates, so when it's in arm mode, you get the more dynamic, uplifted rotor shape. You can leave it either way. These panels right here flip up. You see the levels, and then the landing struts collapse up into the arm. And just like I was talking about earlier, you open up these panels here as you fold them around, and then flip them up and around like that, and then slide the whole panel up like that, and you just kind of rotate that out of the way. So you can see he's got a hinge there, bicep swivel, elbow, the fists are on ball joints, and then there's a articulated thumb that can flip to either side of the hand, and then articulated fingers on the larger combined hands. They're all like that. I'm not going to focus on that feature in every single limb, but they can all do that. So there's one arm, and it's the same process over here. Flip this panel up. There we go. Like that. Collapse the wheels up. Bring this down. Open up the front end. These panels also hide the hands. This one's already folded up. I forgot to fold it down last time I was playing with it, but well, these will. Yeah, you know what? It's not important, but that can flip down to hide the hand in vehicle mode. I just didn't do it last time. Fold that up and around. Slide it up. Again, same fingers, same articulation in the arm and elbow, shoulder, and there are the arms. Feet. And again, it's the same process for all of them, aside from some of this vehicle-specific moves. So for him to turn to a leg, bring the thrusters back down here, fold the fins up. You don't have to fold the fins up, but you should. This panel right here, now this is unique to the two dedicated leg bots, the submarine and the drill tank. These panels flip up and then slide into the body, so they're not blocking the way. In the case of the standard arm bots, when you want these panels to not be in the way here, because these, again, in vehicle mode, these should close up to close up the back of the vehicle, and then when you're going to leg mode, where the leg's going to plug in, this, instead of just sticking straight up, you just lift this piece up and fold this panel up into there, and then it gets out of the way so the leg can go in there, whereas these slide into the body. Then you just take it and lift the, and then you can flip the, can't get my thumbnail under this. Yeah, whatever. But that can flip down to fold the hand, hide the hand. And this should be, I don't know why this is fighting me so much, because this should just open, the foot should just open up here. Oh, right. There. Get these out of the way. Open this up. This process, the drill tank's different. This guy follows the same process to turn a foot as everybody else, where you come up here, flip this piece up, and when you're folding this back down, rotate the hinge up a little bit so it kind of angles out. You can fold it in, but it doesn't really fit. You want to do it like that. You can get that out of the way, and then these pieces right here flip down to form the heel, like that, and then you can fold this back down. You just need to lift this up to be able to open this panel. And then you can see the slots open. There's a leg. And the drill tank does have a different process. For the arms, it's kind of the same thing. It will extend a little bit here. This is the collapse mode, where it collapses forward. There's a little hinge here. But basically, you want to pull this back, extend this up, and then snap this out. You can see there's a ball joint you're popping over down there. So when you first pop this up, it feels like, oh no, am I going to break it? And when you go back down, you want to make sure you have to really use some pressure to pop that back into place, but it does work. And that's just mostly for the gimmick of the wheels. But you bring that up like that. You can just leave this. This panel does, front here does tilt forward a little bit. Give you some clearance there on the foot. But you got this, and then this piece rotates up. This piece rotates in and rotates around like that. So you kind of fold it straight up like this at this hinge, and then there's a hinge right here that allows it to flip to the inside, and then you rotate it down like that, There's his foot mode. And then, of course, this panel, which forgot to... I've been messing with him back and forth, so I didn't do it, but he has the same lift up and slide into the body panel there. And there are the legs. So now that that's done, let's focus on the core robot, which is really cool stuff here. So the base parts, go ahead, flip his fist back up into his arms. Flip up these panels here, put the hands up, rotate them like that. Take the arm down, flip it up, and collapse these into the body. Why are you not collapsing into the body properly? Something in the way? Oh, something might be in the way here. Nope, nothing in the way. You're just not doing it. There we go. There we go. So flip that up. That can stay there for right now, but you are going to want to go ahead and flip that up, so let's go ahead and do that. So arms up like that. The torso extends like that. And just as a note, it specifically says these little gray pieces right here flip out to lock this torso in place. So when you're going back to vehicle or smaller robot mode, you do want to make sure that you push in these gray tabs in order to collapse the torso back down. You don't want to force it because you could snap those tabs. So extend that out. You're great there. The legs, go ahead and slide the little panels here around the gray piece up. Fold the feet back in. Like that. The panel up, fold the foot up. Open this back up. Fold the foot up. And that's pretty standard. Get him in the power extreme pose. What's cool about now how we convert this and obviously you flip these panels up and open. But the smaller details, for combined mode, these waist panels have an extra panel that flips out to make them fit more properly scale-wise with the combined mode. This piece right here, it can be a pain, and during transformation, because it latches up, but it doesn't latch down. But the center part of the silver piece comes down like that. You can see, normally it's flush with this piece, and now it's hanging down a little bit. It's very easy, but once it's in this position, you can see it kind of sits loosely, and it's very easy to, as you're handling it or picking him up, if you put your hand there, to push that back into place. So keep an eye out for that. So you got that. These panels do come down. You want to have these come around and fill. Oh, I forgot to earlier, one of the last steps for transformation is to push his torso forward in robot mode. So when he's in smaller robot mode, his torso does stick out a little bit over his abs the way it should, like that. So I forgot to do that. Open those up, but these wheels come down, and again, they're on a hinge here so you can get them out of the way. But peg these down here. Fold them up into that first configuration we had the wheels in, up here on the back. Like that. And then the last cool thing that he does is, so the helmet comes up. It's not a full, it's 3 panels that wrap around the head. It's not the whole helmet like on the Galaxy Force. So you wrap that around his head, but in order to avoid the issue that the original had, this is the coolest thing to me. It's a simple gimmick, but before you do that, his whole face rotates around, so you can see now the faceplate and eyes fill that helmet. Let's see if I can get it centered here. Fill the helmet properly. It's a slightly bigger face. You can see because if I flip it back to the smaller face, he has it's a slightly smaller face. You can see more of like an inner silver kind of cheek plate there that disappears when you flip it around. And now it's just faceplate and eyes. Inside the helmet, like you said, getting it to line up can take a little finagling here. Centered, but you get the idea. You bring the face around, and then, so when you wrap the helmet around, it's a properly sized face for the larger helmet. And I just think it's cool that they managed to make that gimmick work. And he still has all his neck joint posability even after all that. And that's just really cool. And then once that's done, go ahead and slot all the limbs on. Oh, make sure that stays closed. Slot the limbs on until they click. Boy, both of you just didn't want to stay shut. What's going on today? Come on, get caught. There we go. Who's getting caught here? Let's just snap on further than that. I don't know why I'm... Oh, there we go. Its arm was down a little bit. There we go. And there is Optimus in his super combined... Oh, he's off camera. Well, we'll fix that. Hold on. There he is, all combined and cool. And like I said, he's got all the same articulation he had in his smaller robot mode, because for most of the part we're using the same joints with the exception of the arms. Same ball joint head. He's got the same ratcheting here. He's got the outer movement there within the limb. The bicep swivel we showed. Single hinge elbows, but then the posable fingers in the wrist joint. His waist swivel, obviously you lose that because of the things, but you can get those out of the way. I think you can still even here, if you lift the wheels up, you can give him a waist swivel. Thigh swivel and everything's still there. The same knees work with the legs. You got some toe tilt there, and yeah, he can hold his pistol. But before we have him hold his pistol, the pistol holds a secret, and it's one of the cool things. There's a recent Dinobot that did this. I'm trying to remember the company that made it. The IDW Dinobot. So his rifle, this panel right here, it takes one CR927 battery. And you just pop out the panel, and then you pop out just a little LED, pop the battery in with the flat side facing away from the circuit board, and plug this back, and then you plug it back in here. And then, once that's done, you take his rifle. This end of the rifle has a magnet built into it. So, if you tap it once, the LED comes on in his chest. Tap it again, and you can see that okay, I turned it off. You tap it once, it comes on. Tap it again, and it will start. You can see a kind of a slow pulsy, off and on LED feature where it pulses. I don't know how well that's showing up. Oh no, okay, I'm seeing it pulse. And again, at this point, you can either tap it again to turn it off, or if you hold the magnet there, it'll do a little flashy LED movement, and in which case you just tap it again, it turns off. That's really cool. I like the fact that it takes away buttons and gimmicks. It does mean you have to take his rifle out of his hand to do it, but I just think it's neat that you've got that several different kinds of functionality just by how many times you tap the gun. The gun can extend, the handle extends, and then you can put it in his hand. Although again, the instructions show the longer version for the smaller robot and the shorter version for the combined robot. I think he looks fine with either one of them. But yeah, he's a really solid, he's a lot of fun, and really cool. I think they took a figure that had a fun gimmick, but definitely made some sacrifices for that fun gimmick, and managed to eliminate a lot of the sacrifices that you have to make for that fun gimmick. And even added a few new gimmicks that are also fun, like the modular trailer. So the helmet is really cool. A lot of the tricks they used here to make the pieces get larger and expand for the combined mode, making them like, and that's the other thing that I didn't show. Excuse me. Here in the drill tank, when you use this as a limb, as an arm, and not a leg, you can open up. You can have him just have an arm with the drill attachment, but you can open up the drill and fold it back, and he still has it's hard to get to because of the rotating ring, but inside here he does in fact have a fully rotating. And that's part of it too. Oh no! Why is that? That's a lot. This feels a lot looser than it used to be, and I don't know why. But yeah, maybe. Oh, there we go. Clipping the ball joint that you're seeing in the back there. So when you clip this back into place for arm mode, get these out of the way here. That locks. That's what tightens the hand. I'll say I knew it wasn't that loose the other day. But yeah, so it can be an arm, and with a fully posable hand, inset hand because of that rotating ring, but there you go. So he's got a full hand as well as the drill attack hand, which is also a little bonus that I don't believe the original. I'm pretty sure the original just had that. If you put him on the drill on as an arm, it was just a drill arm. The end. Let's go ahead and get him back into leg mode so we can stand him up here. So yeah, really nice. And again, look at the back. The wheels fold up on the back, and it's less of an issue as a backpack here in the combined mode versus the super robot mode. But, that's not unexpected. He's more proportional to have that kind of backpack in a larger robot form. Okay, come on. There we go. Nope. There we go. And then just because I had him... Oh, because I already had him out. Here he is with... Show you how much bigger he gets. Even though he was already larger than Earthrise Prime, there he is. And because... these are the guys, like, this guy's going on the shelf with my HasLab Unicron. I already have original Armada Tidal Wave, the Fans Hobby Armada Megatron, and Fans Hobby Naval Commander are all on that shelf as well. So there's a quick shot of him. Shorter than the combined Naval Commander. But, there's different gimmicks, different things. They still look great together. But yeah, there is the very cool MB-18 Fans Hobby Energy Commander, their version of Energon Optimus, with some of the cool new fixes that improve upon the original in a lot of different ways. Definitely worth checking out. If you enjoyed the Energon series, he's a fun Optimus to have, and like I said, it fixes a lot of the problems the original had.